guys, my name is Tyler and welcome to Season 2, Episode number 8 of my FIFA 16 Olympique Marseille career mode. We're going to start off this episode with a simulation, and while we're doing so, if you guys can go ahead and drop a like on the video, of course, as per usual, that would be greatly appreciated. 80 likes is going to once again be the goal for this episode. We're coming up against Michelin's for the first game of this episode, and I don't know if you guys saw the table on the bottom right of your screen to start off this episode, but they only have 2 points in our Champions League group, so I thought, why not simulate this game? We're at home, we'll have the advantage, and if we get the win here, it will help us in our progression of, hopefully getting past the group stage and into the next round of Champions League, and it looks like we're going to do just that, with Faguli scoring 2 goals once again in Champions League. He's just been brilliant, a brilliant signing for us. Pusic scoring in the 73rd, right after Cabella scores, and that's how the game ends, 3-1. Now, I don't like simulating too many games an episode, but you guys are gonna hate me because I really want to get to January. And if we head over to the calendar right now, you can see that we are almost into December. We're coming up against Metz next. That almost rhymed, very close, but Metz are a team that was just promoted, so I feel like we could simulate that game easily. TRayALLDay are getting relegated in real life. They barely survived somehow last season, so that's a game we can simulate as well. And then going into December, we can also simulate Nice and Bastia, and that will help us get into January, meaning the only 2 games we'll be playing this episode is Valencia and Bordeaux. So next episode, we will for sure be going into January because that's what we're going to be doing today in this episode. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into this Metz game. We are going to be using our second team for this game. Alessandrini gets injured in the 6th, and Nkudu's actually injured to start the game. He had the Band-Aid to begin with. Lamina getting sent off. Not a great game so far. I mean, we scored, and they equalized right after I said that. But a red card and an injury is not a great way to get things rolling. Diaby coming on, I think that's like one of his first appearances of the season. Can we please get another goal? Ribery usually scores for us, and right when I say that, he scores. I was going to say he usually scores as a super sub, but Falcone again denies us taking the lead, and we draw 2-2 to Metz. This is why you don't simulate, but again, I really want to get into January, and it's going to make the title push more interesting if I do simulate as well, because I could easily play all the games and more than likely win the title, but simulating will make it a bit more realistic at the same time. So if you look at it like that, we're actually going to make the series a bit more interesting simulating, if you get what I'm trying to say. Alessandrini out for 7 days, not that big of a deal. He'll be back for our next game that we're going to be playing with our second team, so that's not that big of a blow. Lamina's out for 1 match, of course, but again, he'll be back for the next game that we play with our second team. India, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be managing you, but it is now time for another training session. Luca Dean, Santiago Arias, and Karim Rakik once again trying to go up in their rating. I guess grow up makes sense as well, but Dean going up +1 in his slide tackling, Rakik going up +1 in his short passing. Not a bad session. And with that training session out of the way, it's now time for our next game against TRayALLDay in the league, who of course, as I just mentioned, are getting relegated in real life. It took them about, I think, 21 weeks in the league to be able to get their first win. So yeah, they're definitely not doing too great. Andrade getting injured this time. He's a key player for us, so hopefully he's not out for too long. We're playing our first team for this game. We're at home. We better score against a team that's probably going to get relegated in this game, and it's not looking like it's going to happen. Cabella coming on. Fred in the 89th minute. Clutch goal from Fred as a substitute, possibly telling me why he should be starting instead of coming on as a sub, but well done from Fred. 1-0 to score. We win against TRayALLDay, and that will help us in our cause of getting first place in the league. Let's see where we sit. We are still in second, 2 points behind PSG. TRayALLDay were in 14th at the time. Wow, they were actually further up the table than I thought. Metz are in 16th after they drew against us. So not a bad result. It's definitely a good result. It's gonna only help us in our push for first place, as I said before. We got a youth squad monthly report though, because it is now December. Once again, as I said in the previous 2 episodes now, I'm actually recording all 3 episodes you guys are watching. I mean, well, the last 3 episodes of the series, I'm recording like one after the other just so we can get through the series faster. And as I said in the previous 2, we are just going to leave these guys in our youth squad because I'm not going to be using him. Oliero, 71 to 85 potential. We'll leave him in there for a little bit longer. 65 to 81 is not good enough though, so unfortunately, Jeremy Barin, you are going to be leaving our club. Anyone else not good enough? No, for the rest of them, I'll give them a little bit more time to perhaps grow in their potential and their overall, but for now, they are going to be staying in there. Player injured, that was Andrade. He's out for 2 months. That is a big blow. A big blow. We do have Remy Cabella, though, who is on our bench, of course, so he'll just join straight into our first team. He's actually higher rated than Andrade anyway, so that one's not that big of a deal. What is in our player conversations? Abu Diaby once again telling me he wants to leave the club. He said that in the last episode as well. But other than that, we are in December. We got our first game that we're actually going to be playing against Bordeaux, who, if we can take a look at the table, I believe sit in 10th. When I started off the episode, I checked before I started it, and they were in 10th, so they moved up to 9th since then. We can get a win here. It'll put us in tied for first place on 39 points with PSG. We definitely need to be playing this game, and hopefully we can get the win. We're going to be going up with our first team, actually our second team. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit difficult, isn't it? Are we away from home or are we at home? Let's find out. We are away with our second team. This is going to be a bit difficult. What else is in our office? Yeah, I've already seen that. So hopefully we can get the win here. Let's go ahead and jump into it and take a look at their side. So here is their team for this game. Looks like they signed Ilicic. I believe he plays for Fiorentina in real life. They have Juicy up front. He's also a good striker. Henri Saivet, of course, who plays for Newcastle now. It's a great team. I love their midfield. And I actually made one change to our starting 11 for this game. I brought in Lassana Diarra for Alessandrini because he was a little bit low on fitness. Diarra's going to play in that CDM role. He has pretty good stamina, so he'll be fully fit for our next game. Mina playing through Etienne Capoue. Repay him. There he is. Lamina, that was a heavy touch, and it hits off the post after he controls it. Ilicic cutting inside, finds Kazri, of course, who plays for Sunderland in real life now. Finds, I don't even know how to pronounce that guy's name, but he takes a shot, and Mandanda makes a nice save. Is it Guilbert? Something like that? Guilbert? I know it ends in Bear, but I don't know the start of his name. Either way, from the corner, I have to start talking on these now because we've conceded from them so many times in this career mode and in the Swindon career mode. We find Wabi Kazri, who's going to whip this one in. Mandanda clears it out to Gregory Sertic, who's a great center mid, and he passes out, and the player that gets to it, I'm not sure who that was, Biogo Poco maybe? Oh, Saive, he skies it. Etienne Capoue. Etienne Capoue seeing Lassana Diarra make a run. We subbed him in for this game. He takes a shot. It's a nice save from Carasso. He's going to find Fred. Fred trying to cut around Palois. He does. Finesse shot with his left foot. I thought that was going to find the bottom corner. Fred finding Lassana Diarra. He's going to find GK and Kudu is going to cut inside. Sees Diarra making a nice run. He finds him on the half volley straight into the arms of Carasso. Etienne Capoue to Cabela. First time ball into Diafra. You got to be quick enough to get that, man. Fair play to Carasso. Lamina is going to find Capoue. Capoue sees Fred making a nice run. Another great save from Carasso. Not a great shot from Fred. And from that resulting corner, we have Remy Cabela on the ball. He's going to try to find an opening for himself. He's going to pass this one off to Sperania. Sperania sees Diafra Sacco. That's another heavy touch, of course. Sacco doesn't really have the best of control. He does cut inside with the body feint nicely, though. Takes a shot. Carasso with a save. It's an open net, and Kudu saw the open net, just tried to get the shot off as quick as possible, and that's why it was terrible. Juicy playing it out wide. Wabi Kazri. Wabi Kazri has a decent foot on him. Wabi Kazri, is that a penalty? It is. It is a penalty. I didn't press any button there, and they're able to get a pen from that. Bit ridiculous. It's not my fault Lamina's a bit stronger than Kazri, let's be real here. And did he really even touch him? It just looked like Kazri mishit the ball and fell over. Either way, Kazri won it, and he's going to take it. Can he score past Mandanda? We need to get a win here. Mandanda guesses the right way, but Kazri goes up, Mandanda goes down, and they're able to take the lead just before halftime. Sertic to Wabi Kazri. He turns his man, takes a nice shot. Good save from Mandanda. They got a corner, of course, from that. Wabi Kazri to take it. He's going to whip this one into the box. Palois beats our two defenders and gets to it. I don't know why Lamina decided to head that one out. Yara. Come on. That's a nice run from Remy Cabela. One touch shoots. That's a penalty for us, surely. Come on. And that's how the game is going to end. 1-0 the final score. I feel a bit unlucky not to at least get a point out of that game. I feel like we played well enough to get 1 point, but obviously not well enough to get the full 3 points. We didn't even get a point at all in this game. Again, like I said, a bit unlucky. It wasn't even game, judging by the stats as well. Pretty equal pass accuracy, pretty equal possession, equal shots in total. Did have more on target, but still, I felt like we played well in this game. It's just like there's some sort of curse with our second team. We never play well with our second team, especially in big games, and it proves to be just like that in this game as well. Mario Lamina got a 4.0 at the time I subbed him off. That is pretty pathetic. Sacco a 5.7. Etienne Capoue had a pretty decent game at a 6.8. You saw I'm in a 3-4-3 formation right now because I just feel like it's the best trying to come back into a game with hardly any time left. You got to push as many men forward as you can. Faguli and Ribery were just subbed on at the same time. I don't know how Faguli only got a 4.1 in that time with Ribery getting a 6.4, but whatever. Saves, Mandanda made 7 saves to be fair. Man of the match for us with an 8.4. As for them, Wabi Kazri a 7.7. I feel a bit hard done. I don't think that was a penalty. earned for them. I don't think it should have been, but he scores nonetheless. And that's how the game ended, damn. And after that defeat, we're going to be training once again the same players as per usual to hopefully shore up our defense a bit more for our next game. No ratings go up, unfortunately, though. FBDDC, not a great session all rounds, but we do have this game against Valencia coming up. Now, I haven't looked at the table yet, but they did actually lose to Milan in their last game, which makes things a bit interesting going into this final game of the group stage. If they win here, they could potentially surpass us depending on the goal difference. So yes, if they beat us, they will definitely be going through. So we definitely need to be playing this game, at least get a point. So we'll probably play a bit defensive because if we get a point, we're going through regardless. If they win, they could potentially go through. And of course, if we get a win, we're going through anyway. What's in the office player conversations? Ribery wants to play in this next game. You are going to be playing in this next game. Don't worry. We just need to take a look at the fitness and what it's looking like. So Andrade, of course, he got injured. Diarra, I thought, had better stamina than that. So I thought he'd be available for this game. But unfortunately, he is not. So that's fine. We'll play Fred. Fred usually has some pretty good stamina, if I remember correctly. He actually doesn't as well. That's a bit frustrating. We'll play Diaby, Capu, Nordvite, or Lamina. We got to play one of them. Let's go with, I'm not sure. Capu's usually pretty good for us, so let's play him. As for the cam position, we can play Alessandrini there. You could play Nordvite and then move Fred up. We can play Leica. We can play Sacco. It is technically a center forward position. I'm gonna give it to... I'm going to give it to Nordvite. Okay, Nordvite's going to go there, and then we're going to put Rafinha there, and that's going to be our team. I decided to do it this way because we are playing a bit more defensive in this game after all, so it'll be nice to have a bit more defensive players. So let's go ahead and get into this game. Let's take a look at their side. Here is their team. It doesn't look like they made any changes to their side since the last time we played them. It's obviously very good, very well-rounded. Mina, their only weakness, I'd say, because obviously they lost Faguli. So hopefully we can get at least a point. Now, we've played Valencia at least 4 times this season, I want to say. That is bad. Thank you, Mandanda. But as I was saying, we played them at least 4 times this season. We played them in friendlies, we played them in the Super Cup, and then, of course, these 2 times in the Champions League group stage. They won Champions League last season. If we get at least a point here, we'll be knocking out the current champions, the current holders of Champions League. That's incredible. Can I do anything from this, though? Pablo Piatti finds Andre Gomez. Andre Gomez finds Parejo into Alcacer, into Shrakdan Mustafi, the center back. He's running out. What is he doing? Whipping in a nice ball. That's what he's doing. Thank you, Mandanda. Piatti loses it. Thank you, Ribery. We can maybe get something from this counter. Love Ribery's red gloves because it's default from his Bayern days. Rafinha. Oh my god, that was filthy. That is filthy as well. In a different way to the spin. That is just disgusting. That should be a red card for Luis Gustavo. How is that nothing? And why is the ref doing a... He was doing a Nazi salute. At least it looked like it anyway. Only a yellow. Oh, he's open. Batshuayi. Should be an easy finish. It is with his left foot, his weaker foot. He's going to finesse that one past Diego Alves to put us in the lead 1-0. It's a bit of a safety net for us because now we have a 1-goal cushion at least to be able to still get a point out of this game. Batshuayi had too much space. I don't know why they left him so open, but he makes him pay 1-0. Okay, that's lots of space for Mina. I said he was their weak link. Is he going to make me eat those words? It looks like he is. Mina from range. Mandanda makes a nice save. Thank you. But you never know what can happen with corners, especially with me. For whatever reason, I struggle defending them. They whip this one into the box. They get ahead to it. Thank you, Rakit. Clears it off the line, and Luis Gustavo, who should be sent off, gets to it and equalizes. I love Luis Gustavo in this game, so it really hurts me to see him score against me. Just, it's always corners, isn't it? It really is. It's a curse. Either way, though, it's 1-1. We're still walking away with the result we want. Nice work, Rafinha. Taking that away from Abdennour. Make them pay. Make them pay. Come on, Rafinha. Come on, Rafinha. Sweat that one across. Nordvite. What was that? That was going to find Batshuayi. You stole it away from him. And if you're going to do that, you at least have to put it on target. What an awful hit. Sofiane Faguli. He's going to spin inside, sees Batshuayi making a nice run. He beats Abdennour, tries to take it cross goal. Rafinha's there for the rebound, but unfortunately he's offside. Sofiane Faguli. Faguli, play that in. Nice. Batshuayi was a bit of a heavy pass, but still finds Batshuayi. He's going to finesse it with his left foot. He did that earlier to score, but unfortunately he can't score again. Oh god, that was a good ball through. Oh my word! I was expecting that to go over, to be fair, or at least, you know, Mandanda to tip it, but it goes off the crossbar. Fair play. That's a decent strike. Like, honestly, I wouldn't have been upset to get scored on like that. Rafinha trying to cut around Luis Gustavo. He does in the end with a Burba spin. Finesse shot! Rafinha could have put the dagger in, but unfortunately, Diego Alves makes the save. Dying embers of the game. This is going to be their last chance. I don't know why DePaul is going backwards. He finds Luis Gustavo. He's going to find Gaia, who whips a nice ball in. You win the header, it goes out. Ball in. Gaia, oh my god! Mandanda, thank you. This is where they make me pay. It's where they always make me pay. From the corner. Please win that. Santiago Arias wins it. Andre Gomez is going to whip it back in. Finds Mustafi, the center back, who finds Luis Gustavo, the goal scorer. Why are they still going backwards? I do not know. But it doesn't matter because the ref blows his whistle. We were able to get the win in this game. We're advancing through to the next round of Champions League. Bit of a defensive struggle that game. You can see they had 60% of the possession, 9 shots, 6 on target. It was a pretty even game in terms of shots and shots on target. But as we hit the second half, I started to get a bit more nervous because all they needed was a goal and we'd be out of this tournament. 59% possession for them. So thank goodness we were able to come away with the win there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the player ratings for this game as well. Mandanda got man of the match. He saved us in the end there in the final minute of that game. I thought Gaia was going to score for sure, but Mandanda made a couple big saves in that game, getting 6 in total. What was the match rating for him? 8.1. Rakik getting a 5.7. I feel like he played a bit better than that, to be fair to him. Nordvite a 6.3, Ribery a 6. As for them, Alcacer was very good, a 7.2, Mina a 6.4. Luis Gustavo, in my opinion, should have been sent off in that first half, but he got a 6.6. He, of course, scored the goal. Diego Alves getting a 6.9, so it was a pretty even game. They are out of Champions League, and we're through to the next round. I was a little bit worried we weren't going to be able to afford Loic Remy in the last episode, if you remember correctly, but, yeah, after we advanced to the next round, we got 12 million euros added to our budget. Hallelujah! Thank you, board. We're going to be able to afford Loic Remy now. Player conversations, Franck Ribéry is happy to be playing in that last game because I don't know if you guys do this as well, but I just kind of leave my squad like this until I get to actual game day, and then I move the squad over. So when we got to that last game day, it was on our second team sheet rather than our first team sheet, so we thought, oh, I'm not going to play in this game, so we got mad. But either way, we're going to go ahead and advance forward to our next game that we're going to be simulating, of course, against Nice. That was the last game we're going to be playing in this episode, so if you guys only like gameplay, I suggest you click off the video now, and if you are, please be sure to drop a like on the video. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and simulate the last 2 games of the episode. First off, against Nice, who I believe sat below mid-table, if I remember correctly. We're at home for this game. We have to use our second team, though, so it might be a bit tough to be able to get the full 3 points here. They have Alisson Playa, number 14, up front for them, who is a former Lyon player. They have another former Lyon player and a former Marseille player in Hatem Ben Arfa, the number 9. Coziello's a great up-and-coming player, same with Napolis Mendy. So they have a few good players, but we're in the league still 2-0 with Skip when we hit the 65th minute. Skip, we're able to win 3-0. They got a red card with Sari in the 87th, but we still get the win regardless. I'm very happy with that result. And with that game done, we need to get into another training session before our next game happens. Not a great session again. I don't remember the last time we've had an A in our training. Like, it's been so long, but Rakik and Arias at least are getting closer to that 79. And here we go into what's going to be the final game of the episode, going with our first team for this game. I actually didn't make any changes. I was supposed to put in Diarra and Cabela, and I forgot to. So it's our same first team we used in our previous game that we played against Valencia, and hopefully he can get us the win here against Bastia, who do sit in the lower 5, I believe, of the table. Nordvite getting the goal for us, and I guess we're kind of lucky we left him in the team. He scores for us in the 56th minute, and it looks like it's going to be the winner. Please! No, it's not. They missed a penalty to go ahead. Thankfully, we get a point out of this game at least. That's the least we could get. A little bit unhappy with that, and PSG could get a 3-point lead going into the next episode, which is unfortunate, but we're gonna go ahead and do a training session to end off the episode, so let's go ahead and do that. If you guys did enjoy this episode, please be sure to drop a like on it. 80 likes is the goal for this episode. If you guys can hit that, that'd be absolutely awesome, or keep going up to a 79 to end off this episode. That is fantastic. Other than that, guys, I've been TRayALLDay or Tyler, and I'll catch you guys next time.